Hey everybody and welcome for a new jelly printing session. Today I'm going to make some spring themed collage papers and I mainly use bright colors today. I'm starting out with a fluorescent pink and I think I've added a little bit too much to my jelly plate and I try to soak that up into the bottle, and I'm mixing that with another fluorescent color, the fluorescent red. One paint is from Schmincke, the other is from De La Rowney. That's for no reason. It just happens that I have these two colors. I do some very simple jelly prints, but in my mind I have an idea for some really nice collages using these. And I'm using a texture plate, which I have made with our stencils. Here I used the the dotted stencil. I will link the stencils in the description. And used my Big Shot and embossed that paper. So you can use, for example, embossing folders and emboss some paper. You can use some embossed paper you can buy in the craft shops, or you can just use different techniques to create a pattern. I try to remove the pattern with that paper, with that embossed paper from the Gelli Plate, so I get that as a print. In that right area I removed a little bit too much of the paint, but I think that is just fine. I did the same with these green colors before, and I will also do it in blue. The texture on this texture plate is not very heavy, so I just spray over that very lightly. I don't want to push too hard because I only want to remove that pattern from the plate, not the complete paint. And I just used one of our backing papers to do the embossing. Of course, you can use any other cardstock you have. I'm printing on rice paper today, if you're wondering. I love rice paper as a collage paper because it's very thin and it can take quite a lot of water. It's also good for jelly printing because you have a little bit of opening time until you remove it from the plate without that the paper is tearing. If you leave it onto the plate too long and it soaks up too much water, I would recommend let it dry on the plate and then remove it. So otherwise it might tear. So it's but you have some time to remove it. It can be wet and it will still be strong enough. That idea I have in my mind for the collages are I would say spring themed with bright colors, botanicals. And for the next prints, I'm going to use our sketchy leaf stencils, just the masks of them. And I would just lay them onto the jelly plate when I do my prints. And this gives me some really simple prints, but I really was looking for these kind of papers. Just because in my mind I have an idea, and I will share a project with these, or more projects with these papers soon. Maybe there will be a video for the members as a little bonus video, during the years. I'm not sure. I will have a little creative break over on our shop blog this week. I want to enjoy time with my family and I try not to work too much. So I decided to take a little break for just 1 week during the holidays. But if I have time, it's now a week before Christmas, I will maybe have a video ready for my members where I'm using these papers. When you use these masks to print, you have to push very good into the little tiny openings between the leaves, because otherwise it might not turn out as detailed as you want it. And that's what I meant when I say you have a little bit of time with the rice paper. It will not tear immediately. And now I'm removing the paper, and there was a little bit of a pattern going on from my previous print, but that's just fine. I'm now going to remove the masks from the Gelli Plate, and I can make another print with these images. These also will turn out very interesting. Usually I wait a little bit until I add another layer of paint over this, because if you add it immediately, you might smear all the paint that's on the plate, and I don't want that, so I wait about 30 seconds to a minute maybe. I don't want to wait too long because I'm not that patient. I'm using some white acrylic paint to pick up the leaves from the plate. Here you have to wait a little bit until the acrylics transfer to the paper. Here I have a little bit of a tearing on the paper, and sometimes I let these things dry for, I would say, an hour and then remove it. That's always when I have the feeling it doesn't come off, or if I know I want to clean the Gelli Plate completely, because that will pick, if you let it dry, it will pick up everything that's on your plate. I'm now experimenting with different color combos. I'm going for bright colors, as I said in the beginning, and I don't do many different ones. But I'm experimenting with the fluorescent pink mixed with a little bit of Indian yellow, and the other was the other fluorescent colors. So I'm just playing to see which colors I like the most. But I try to stay cohesive, so that's the same yellow I've used before, just mixed up with a Naples yellow. And I'm also staying with the ultramarine blue I've used for the pattern before. And I'm adding in a little bit of olive green and turquoise later. And I will also make some black textures, just to have a contrasting color. When I then do my collages, I really like to have bright and bold colors combined with black. And that's why I also do some black prints later. Here I'm also using stencils from older stencils. This is, I think, from the Sketchy Leaves 5. We have 7 of these, but I think 1, 2, 3, 4 are sold out. We have 5, 6, and 7 left in stock. We do usually not reorder old stuff. Instead, we would make something new. So in case you want these stencils, get them quickly, because if they are sold out, they are sold out. And we have a little sale going on during our little shop break. It means that we pause shipping between Christmas and the New Year, and you get 12% off with the code 2026. So I will put that in the description as well. Next year, I will also play in the Badass Art Journal workshop. I will be a teacher there and have a little class. I'm really looking forward to that. We will make some kind of bright collage, I can promise, because I plan to use these collage papers combined, I would say, with some transparent inks, because that's what I really enjoy doing at the moment. So if you want to be part of that, check it out. I will give you a link in the video description. Here I'm working on the black prints. I'm doing the same. I made a texture plate with our mini textures stencil, and I want to just create some lovely textures in black and white that I then can use smaller bits of in my work. I usually add some smaller black accents here and there, and I think these small patterns are perfect for that. What I also can recommend as collage papers is tissue paper. You can also print that with the Gelli Plate. It will be more transparent than rice paper, because rice paper usually isn't transparent. The tissue paper will be transparent once you glue it down with some mediums like matte medium, and that's also really nice because it's very thin and it will layer over other papers and they will shine through, and that can be really interesting. I messed up this print, so I decided to do a second one, so I'm not running out on black and white papers. Before I do that, I'm using another color to pick up that leftover black ink from the black paint from the plate. I don't want to have that on my black and white prints. Not sure if this makes sense, but I want a clean plate when I want to make black and white prints. And here I just do the same that I've done before with the stencils, with the masks, and make a turquoisey green collage paper with some black fragments on it. And this black print definitely turned out a bit better. Yeah, I really like, as I said, a black and white pattern as a kind of a neutral against some bright and bold colors. Yes, I hope you enjoyed that little video. I haven't shown you all the prints I've done because it was always the same process. I hope you are inspired. And yeah, watch some of the other videos. Hopefully we will see us soon. Have a wonderful Christmas time and a Happy New Year. Bye.